Hi guys. So today I wanted to come and make this particular video. It's so many, so many things are happening right now um, in the United States with this administration that, it's almost like, if I have a desire to make a video about something, then something else happens and so forth. And so, it's quite overwhelming right now. Um, But we know that's the plan, to overwhelm. Um, but this is something that I wanted to share as I was just thinking, there's so many of us that voted and wanted Kamala Harris to win for various reasons. Um, there's so many who did not and still do not, are very, very happy that she didn't, for their reasons, whatever it is. There's been many people asked, you know, um, I've heard everything from she had no policies to the way she handled the border crisis or whatever, or yeah, under Biden. I've heard, I mean, then there's all of the unsubstantiated reasons, she slept her way to the top and she ain't really black and all of these things. And so at the end of the day, um there were a lot of us who wanted her to win because of what we thought would be a good it would be a good thing for America, in other words. um But, and this is gonna sound strange, first of all, coming from a Black woman and then coming from someone who actually did vote for her. Um, but I have to say, I really don't think that it would have been good if Kamala had won the presidency. I really don't. Um, and that's hard to say, but I have to be realistic, you know. Um I'm gonna go into a few reasons. One of I'm not sure if I had made this particular video that I'm about to talk about, this particular subject, but if I didn't, I certainly meant to. But there has been a push for the hate of Black women in particular. We know in America there has always been hate for Black people. Um, period, from slavery on. Um, but in the last few years, and although I'm not singling out rap music or whatever, I'm not singling that out, but I think that's when we can kind of start seeing the beginnings of the hate for Black women and the push for stereotypes of Black women, and that's really what it is. Um, it was a push of the stereotype of Black women just in general. Um, and of course, again, we've had that on the plantations, and I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I actually did a video. Of course, I can't remember the title, but I will try to find it and put it down here. But the video was talking about how the new ghetto girl or whatever, um, the loud, the braids, the big earrings, the whatever, that whole attitude was the new um stereotypical woman that they had, a stereotypical um oh, what is that word I'm looking for? The stereotypical prototype of the way they have always viewed us negatively. But during slavery and after slavery and all those things, it was always the fat black mama taking care of everybody, happy with the thing, tied around the head and whatever, the scarf around the head. And it was a stereotype, the happy black fat woman, you know what I'm saying? Had been replaced, and she was always the butt of jokes, you know what I'm saying? Had been replaced for the ghetto project, big earring, loud, you know, stereotypical black woman. And that had been the beginning of, even in rap music, when all that stuff started, of the degrading, trying to humiliate, laugh at, because black people are always the butt of the jokes, just in general. But it started in the music with calling them hoes. Baby mama became a thing. You know what I'm saying? It went from being a single mom to being baby mama. That's just what it turned to. Um, and being the bitch, being the hoe, being loud, hurting the baby daddy, not being responsible for her with her body, um, always wanting something from a man or whatever. And as we continue to go on, a lot of rap music back, especially early 90s or whatever, that late 80s, they brought that stereotype more so to mainstream stream media, and that was completely by design, and was attacked. And now we see, even in 2025, where we know that that's a stereotype. We know all black women aren't like that, but it's the way many like to see us. Case in point, Representative Jasmine Crockett. Um, Now, Jasmine Crockett is a very intelligent. She was a lawyer. I don't know all of her accolades, but I know that this is a very intelligent black woman who was a lawyer, had her own business, and had her own law firm and so forth. And, she's still very, very down home. I mean, first of all, she's from Texas. And so she's just very down home. She's not super uber bougie. She kept her down homeness. Okay. And so, but of course, because of the hate for black women, they called her ghetto, despite her degrees, despite her knowledge, despite her wisdom, despite the fact that she can literally just eat you up in about 30 seconds, and we see her do it all the time. But that doesn't matter because she's black. She's a dark skinned woman. She's absolutely beautiful. But, the hair, the nails, the what, they will use anything to call her ghetto, because she is not the typical, she's not, she didn't change herself to be bougie or whatever. She kept her down homeless. And so anyway, with that being said, they use that, you know what I'm saying? And so the point that I'm making with that is that it doesn't matter how educated a black woman is, she's still gonna get called ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Kamala Harris got called ghetto. Kamala Harris, They saw her doing the hot sauce thing, and that became a big old whatever, you know. And so it doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't matter what a black woman does. She's still going to get labeled. You know what I'm saying? Um, kind of like black people in general. Um, most black men, whether they have been raised in the suburbs or raised in Compton or whatever, still it's the stereotype. Have you been to jail? What's your credit like? You know, you just get labeled. You know what I'm saying? So it's for us across the board. But really, what I'm trying to bring out is the push for the hate that we have seen in the past. I don't even know. I'm just going to say 10 years, you know, because we didn't see that kind of hate in the 90s. We didn't see the baby mama thing. You know what I'm saying? Even the early 2000s, really, we weren't really seeing that. It became an online social media thing. And I will say this. I truly believe, you know, these people in politics and so forth, we know these elections are rigged, just period. And we know that many times they know way ahead of time um, who's going to be in the running and so forth. And so, with that said, I believe they knew Kamala Harris would probably be up there. At least she would have a chance because of the fact that, you know, she was the vice president. She was the vice president for Joe Biden. So whether he conceded, whether he got too old, whether he gave it to, like, whatever, the fact is she would be a contender. And so um the push, man, the push, especially on social media for the hate of black women, many times with black men at the helm, just became brutal. You know what I'm saying? And so just that stereotype alone knocked her out. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it was negative against her, no matter how educated again she was or whatever. You know, I hear so often as I go around on social media, um, I hear a lot of times I'll listen to the different lives that are on like TikTok and stuff like that. And it always amazes me how when there's conversation about uh this administration, I don't want to say his name. This administration, the head of this administration, and Kamala Harris or whatever. And people will ask the question, oh, well, what did she do? And what are your specific reasons? And why exactly did you know, many times people, they don't even have a reason, like a real reason that you can really point to and say she did this or this is the reason or whatever. You know, some may, but the majority of them, it is, you know, it's a lot of stereotypical stuff. It is a lot of, you know, and you can hear the dripping of almost literal hate coming from their words is, oh, I wouldn't have voted for that woman. Or, oh, there's no way I'd have voted for her or whatever, you know, and it's like, you know, you'll ask them things like, oh, well, what about, you know, him? What are his policies that, you know, made you want to vote for him? Most of them don't, they can't even tell you. They can't tell you. And again, asking about Kamala Harris, you know, some people can tell you some specifics, but the majority of people It's just the fact that, oh, I just would not have voted for her. Just period. I just wouldn't, And no, and again, no real reason, but you can hear the hate. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, um, I have come to the conclusion, you know, that no matter how many of us who voted for her of all races feel that she would have been good for this or good for that or whatever. Um, I don't, I still don't believe now as we look at the head of this current administration that's in office, and we see the things that are happening. We see that there were blatant lies from the campaign trail. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. And this is going to be a great thing. And we're going to do. None of that is happening. And it's like he totally flipped the script on everybody. And so now many people are mad. Many Republicans are turning their back. Many MAGA are turning their back. But yet and still, surprisingly as it is to me, there are still a great number of people who support him. There's still a great number of people who believe in him. There's still a great number of people who trust him. There's still a great number of people who are just saying, "Oh, well, just sit back and wait. Oh, just wait. Give him time. It's only been such and such." And despite the fact that there is a billionaire who is literally the president, um, not many people talk about that part. And that's the thing that really surprises me because they're talking about him, but not realizing that he is allowing this billionaire to actually get up and get out and do all the dirty work. Like and I noticed that there are people who are angry at Musk. Um, they seem to be, in my opinion, more angry at Musk than they are at him for allowing this and pushing him forward and letting. But I mean, at the end of the day, I am one that truly believes that Musk bought the presidency. He absolutely bought it. Which is what we see him continuing to do, like right now, presently in Wisconsin, literally paying people $1 million for their vote, and somehow, thanks to Citizens United, somehow this is okay. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to do. You know, but there's a lot of things going on right now in America that people, it's just completely unbelievable. We would never have thought it, never even imagined, and so forth. But with all of that said, and all of that that we see, I still say I don't think it would have been good if Kamala Harris had been elected president. And I say that because America just ain't ready. America just has, again, entirely too much hate for women, but for Black women especially. Um, we've seen the buildup of the campaign of hate for Black women. And one of the things, that I wanted to say, not only about the hate for Black women, but the hate for Black people, the policies and the things that we see that are going on now, trying to shut down, close down everything Black, trying to take away our historical imprint on America, which is everywhere, because America wouldn't even be America without us and our building and our inventions. and our input and our work and our free labor. And like we already know that. Whether you want to admit it or not, it is what it is. If you don't admit it, you're literally in delusion. So, it doesn't it doesn't matter. None of those things matter because of the fact that sometimes I think we really take for granted the intensity of the hate. And again, I don't just mean for black women. I mean for us, period. There is a strong, strong sense of intense hate that's going on from the White House to black Americans. And we see that, just literally to erase us as we stand, and there's many videos going on, that black women are resting, which we can call it resting, but I honestly truly believe that it is the best thing for us to be doing right now is to be stepping back. I really do. And I have different reasons for saying that, but it's the best thing. So despite the fact of, black people resting, despite the fact that especially many of our younger generation, are just like, we don't give up, you know. And a lot of us older ones feel like that too. And we feel like that because I mean, we already know. We already know nothing was really given to us, period. I mean, just like how they love to, oh, we gave you Obama, but y'all didn't let Obama do nothing. So, you know what I'm saying? Um, Despite the fact that um we were so-called given integration. Integration has done really on the big surface level. It's been more damaging to us as a people because we still can't get ahead. We still can't. We still aren't equal on a flat equal. No way we're equal. Just one example: the fact that the average white family still makes at least 10 times more than the a black family, and that don't, not just because she's a single mom or whatever, not just because of that, period. You know what I'm saying? There's still so many places in America that black people can't go. There's still so many, and not just economically, just because you better not take your black ass there, period. Like you just can't go, you know? And really, the more rural, the more poor, the more racist. So it ain't like, oh well, black people can't come up to this high standard or whatever because they're blocked off by money. No, that ain't necessarily it. Because again, just like I say, the more poor, the more rural, the more um backwoods, whatever, where you actually can go those places, you better not. You bet, for your own safety and for your life, you better not. So we have that, we can't go everywhere. We can't go to any school literally that we really want to. I know that there's school choice in some states and things like that. Like in mine, there's school choice and everything, but there's still limits to it. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's not integration, in my opinion, which would be a whole nother video, has not been beneficial really to us black people. Um, Talking about rolling back segregation, I mean that it to me it all goes hand in hand because we have still been segregated on many different levels through redlining and through economy and through just all kinds of practices that they have, these bylaws and all these little things that are written and whatever, and just the fact that they'll just throw your damn application away. Or I mean, white people have always and will probably always have dog whistles. You know what I'm saying? They will always have dog whistles for black and black people. Simple things, like um going into a restaurant and serving your white patrons who are just like everybody else. You treat them equal, you give them the same service, but instead of giving you a tip, they leave you some nasty racist comment or something and no tip or whatever. You wouldn't even think. You're like, damn, man. Like, if you hated me or whatever, like, first of all, why sit in my section? Go to some other section or don't go to the restaurant if you know they have black service. Like, it's so many different ways that you could avoid it, but they go into places and these spaces to be racist. You know what I'm saying? Racism in so many ways is not even about, it's about hate, don't get me wrong, but it ain't really about the hate like I just can't stand you, I don't want to be around you, you just stay away. It ain't about that kind of hate. It's about the hate of I'm going to you to bully you. It's about the hate of I'm going into your neighborhood to disenfranchise you. It's about I'm coming closer to you to do things to hurt you, to humiliate you, to make you feel bad. Any person, and this is just a quick example before I get back to my subject. Um, any person, any white person that goes into a place with the presence of black people, which many times is just about everywhere, and does something mean, hateful, racist, abusive, whatever, like they're so emboldened to do, especially right now with this administration, they're not doing it because they hate you. They're doing it because it's fun. See, there's a sick, wicked side, sick, wicked, twisted side to racism. And it ain't that, I don't want you around me because I hate you. I just can't, I just don't want to be. No, it's because I want to humiliate you. I want to hurt you. I want to harm you. I want to say something to you. Me and my daughter just, and this, I wouldn't even plan on saying this, but me and my daughter was at a store that has a pharmacy. I was at the pharmacy getting a prescription, and my daughter was kind of more so like in the grocery aisle or whatever, just kind of waiting, standing back, waiting for me. And without getting into it, some white man, who it usually is, the white males who love to attack black women and children the most, um, said something to her. And again, I'm not going to get into what it was and everything because it was squashed, thankfully. Um, but at the end of the day, sir, you didn't have to say anything to my daughter. It was one of those situations where you didn't have to say anything to her. She wasn't bothering anybody. She was literally just standing there. And you saw her there by herself. And you, as a full grown man, because my daughter's still only 19. You know what I'm saying? She has a very baby face. You know what I'm saying? So it's quite easy to look at her and know she ain't no full grown woman. You know what I'm saying? You know she's very, very young. But at the end of the day, you didn't have to say nothing to her. You said something to her because you wanted to, because you saw her by herself and you just wanted to be a dick. And literally that's the point that I'm making. They go to places and they put themselves in situations to harass black people, to say stuff to black people. So it's not hate. Oh, I don't want you around me. Oh, get away from me. What? No, that's not how their racism work. It's fun. It's fun to them. They have fun doing that. They want to call you the N word. You know what I'm saying? They don't call you the N word because they just, oh, you're just detestable. You're just you know what I'm saying? You're just an N word. It ain't that. It's, I want to call you the N word. I want to see you mad. I want to pick a fight with you. I want to F with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's fun to them. Anyway, so I don't believe because of the way the push for hate of black women, um, I don't think it would have been a good thing for Kamala at this time to be president. I don't think America's ready. Um, I just don't, you know. All of the people that voted for Trump for whatever reason they voted for him, whether they just didn't want to vote for a black woman, or the racist aspect of it, Um, I believe that it would have been worse coming from those groups. I think black women would have been a lot more unsafe. Black femicide is through the roof. I think it would have gotten worse. I think the hate from a lot of men and many, many black men, especially, would have made it. I think the femicide rate probably would have shot up even more. I think we would have definitely been targeted, not just as black women, but as black people. Period. When Obama was in office those 2 times, I mean, man, that was a lot of the Trayvon Martin, that was a lot of the Michael Brown, that was, I mean, black men. It was literally like hunting season, you know? And so I think if we look at the history of this country and the history of the way white racism and hate work, is that when white people are angry, mad, upset, disinfect, like they don't need much of a reason. But whenever there is a something going on with them, they take it out on us and they literally unalive us for their pleasure or whatever, you know. And it's been that way since the plantation. We were always the one to, hey, just go beat a slave to death. You know what I'm saying? So it's been that way. You know what I'm saying? Hunt black people, unalive black. I mean, just it's a sport and a sick, twisted, demonic um, outcome for many of us in America. Period. But all they need is a little reason. You know what I'm saying? And again, under Obama, there were so many black deaths. There's still black deaths, but I think if Kamala Harris had won, I really think it'd have been worse. Um, anyway, that said, um, I I just don't believe that America um is ready for a black woman president. It would have been nice, would have been good, but so many other countries that, we feel like in America that, America's better than this country and better than that. But many of them though are very they're a lot more advanced in that they will elect a woman. You know what I'm saying? But we're America's not ready. America is such a hateful and a racist place. Um, until I think any woman is going to have a hard time. Misogyny, patriarchy, it just doesn't make it feasible for any woman, uh, and especially black woman. A lot of the things that is going on with just the hate in America, half of it is racism. The other half, though, is misogyny and patriarchy. You know what I'm saying? There is an intense hate of women in America. Hopefully things will be changing. Seem like I see very, very minuscule little things that may be trying to kind of change the tide, but I don't know because it's so intense here in America. It's so intense that, the billionaire in charge thought that he could come here and freely and openly make this go back straight to Nazi Germany, America. Like they really thought that Americans were going to sit by and let them be openly, bluntly, overtly racist and Nazi, and it was going to go unchecked. And now that many of them are seeing the consequences, through their businesses and whatever else, and the protest and everything, they're seeing that it's not so easy. And that part is the part that gives me hope That's the part that makes me feel a little bit better. But still at the same time, I still have to tell us as Black people, as Black women, and just as Americans in general, whoever comes across this video, that don't underestimate the hate. Don't underestimate the intensity of the hate of not only Black people, but of women in this country. It's everywhere. You can see it, you can feel it, you can read it, it's everywhere. And so, with that said, all I can say is that, I hope things will change. Um, we got to continue to, whether you call it praying, whether you call it manifesting, whatever it is you want to call it, we got to keep doing that because this is a very, very unsafe place. And I see it more and more. For the most part, I have always been a pretty optimistic, maybe deluded, type person, and I've always looked at the better and the bright side of things. But, the past few years, I really have to say, I've been able to see things for what they are. And although I'm still optimistic, although I'm still hopeful, although I still believe in manifesting and things like that, I'm a lot more realistic um as I get older and I see things for what they are. And so what I tell you to end this video is don't take for granted what you see with your eyes. We're in a time right now where things are literally happening in real time before your face. And this narcissistic administration, narcissistic America that we're in is literally telling you, oh, well, that didn't happen. Oh, nothing happened. Oh, we literally have a commander in chief, I'll call him, who is literally telling, I don't know anything about that. Yep, nope. First time I'm hearing about it. Yep, nope, don't know anything about that. And it's like, are you in charge and the commander in chief, but you don't know this happened? You don't know you don't know? Like literally, when has there ever been a time in history where a president can literally say, "Yep, I don't know. Yep, don't know nothing about that. We're going to be looking into it, and yep, we're going to get to the bottom of it. Going to find. Yep, but I have no idea. Yep, no, first time I heard it. How is that even saying that you're qualified to be a leader if you don't know what the F is going on in your administration and the place where you are the one supposed to be giving the orders, but you don't know what's going on, you don't know what people are doing. And I think a lot of that problem is because again, we did not hire a politician. We hired a businessman, or not hired, but we elected a businessman. And so he's running America like a business. He's running America like he ran all of his businesses. And we've seen we've seen the result of that. So, that's a lot of what we got going on. I'm telling you guys to um stay optimistic the best that you can, but be aware, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and follow your gut. And the reason that I say that again is because of the fact that we literally have an administration where things are literally going on in real time in front of your face, and you're being told, oh, that didn't happen. No, we don't know anything about that. Or they'll blame the other person. Like it's literal narcissism. And the whole complete definition of what narcissists do to you. As a woman or man who have been in narcissistic relationships, that's exactly what they do to you. They literally do stuff and tell you it didn't happen. You didn't see it. You're wrong. Like, that's literally what they do. And so this is what we see. We see all of America being literally gaslit. We see all of America literally in a narcissistic, abusive relationship brought on by, not only this administration, but again, like I say, just America in general. I've said that in other videos. America in general is a narcissistic society, period. That's the way it's run. Okay. So you can't be surprised what's going on in the White House and from this administration. But I will tell you again, as I've said many times talking about this administration, we're gonna get through it. That's the thing that we gotta know. We're gonna get through it. We have to, I'm pleased at America's response. I'm pleased at the uprisings, and I'm pleased at the um, demonstrations, these mass demonstrations and everything that we see. I'm very pleased at the protesting and everything, and I say that first of all because they haven't been violent. You know what I'm saying? But they've been, I feel, effective. And I think it has to continue to be poured on because they're not giving up, so we can't give up. This is going to be a fight. This is going to be a whole bloody, knockdown, drag out fist fight for our democracy. Like, seriously, some old school after school in the street with everybody looking around, knuckle bloody, teeth out, and that's how, yeah, like that's literally how it is going to be. And the fighting in court and the judges and so forth, and the politicians who are fighting back and who are beginning to see that y'all can't just sit back in y'all offices no more. Like, that time is done and over with. Like, all of y'all, we're gonna have to get hands and boots and feet and teeth and legs and everything else on the ground to fight for America and to fight for your constituents. you know, we see so many Republican politicians just literally laying over and hands up, feet up like a dog, just getting the belly rub from this administration because that's what they want. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're doing. They're literally licking the ass of this administration. And so, but there are those who are standing up. There are those who are beginning to see that, man, okay, I can't reason with them. We can't talk to them. We got to, again, fight. So I just wanted to say that. I wanted to share that. You guys let me know what you think. You guys let me know how you see this administration. Do you think What do you think would have? Do you think it would have been a good thing if you are a Kamala Harris voter, not the ones who didn't? You didn't. So it's fine. But what do you think of what I said if you voted for her? About how I think things really wouldn't be very good for us. I really don't, just because of the hate and the racism and so forth. Anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts. Please like the video. Um, please subscribe so that and hit the notification bell so that you know when I upload new videos. Guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Till the next video. See you next time.